Hello, welcome to part 29 of the Angular Complete series represented by tutorial polls, form control and form group. In Angular, when we use ng model, it creates a form control instance. This form control instance then we can access by assigning the ng model to the template variable, the one we created using hash. Similar to ng model, ng form creates a top level form group instance, and again we can access this form group instance by assigning this to a template variable. Let's first see what does this form group and form control instance holds inside. As you can see here, we have the URL opened for ng model. And see this line of definition which says creates a form control instance from a domain model and binds it to a form control element. Now click on this form control link and see here. Form control instance gives you the access to these properties and methods. You can visit this URL in future for more detail. For now, let's quickly walk through each one of them. Let's begin by this property value. Value will return you the current value of control. Validator and async validator returns the function which can be used to check the validity of the control, with only difference that async validator works asynchronously. Next is parent. Returns the parent form group or form array under which the current form control is added. Status returns status as one of the string from possible 4 values. If you click on this and see, we get one of these 4 possible status as a string value. Now go back. Valid and invalid are opposite to each other. These can be used to check if after validation form control is valid or invalid. To check the form whether it's valid or not, we can use these flags. Pending will only be true when form control validity check is in progress. This will be useful in scenarios where we wish to validate something from server, and by the time response returns, we want to show a spinner on UI, we can use this flag. We will get more on this while creating custom asynchronous validators. Disabled and enabled will return boolean when the form control is disabled or enabled respectively. Remember, when form control is disabled, its validations are excluded automatically from the form. Errors returns array of error object for which validation has been failed. Pristine and dirty work opposite to each other. Until the user has not changed value in the UI, pristine is true. Once user make any change, dirty will be true and pristine will become false. Touched and untouched. As the name's explaining whether control has been touched by the user or not. Value changes. Returns an observable which can be subscribed a callback for change in controls, mostly used in reactive forms. Then the next is status changes. Again an observable which can be subscribed to status change of control. Update on returns you the update strategy of control. Click on this and see here. We can specify when to make change trigger. It can be configured on change or blur or submit. Default is change. And also see here, root returns the abstract control instance of top level ancestor. Go back. Now we have couple of functions which are really useful to change control behavior dynamically. See this set validators and set async validators can be used to set validator or multiple validators dynamically on a control. Clear validator and clear async validators can be used to remove all the validations from control. Mark as touched and mark as untouched can be used to set touch state of the control. Mark all as touched is bulk update to set all controls touched state as true. Mark as dirty and mark as pristine can be used to set dirty and pristine state as true respectively. Mark as pending can be used to set the pending state as true. Then we have disable and enable functions to set disable and enable flags as true respectively. Set parent we can use to set the parent of a control. Set value and pass value functions are used to set the value of a control which we get using value property. The only difference between these two is when called on FormGroup, patch value can be used to update some control values. Then we have reset. As the name suggests, resets the control. Update value and validity. Recalculates the value and validation status of the control, that if we modify the validators, then call this function to ask Angular please do reevaluation. Set errors. Can be used to set an error on control. On contrary to set errors, get errors returns the errors object. Last but not the least, has error. Can be used to check for a specific error and returns boolean of that error. Remember, all of these properties you see here gets extended from abstract control, which means wherever this abstract control class will be extended, we will get all these properties and functions. We will use couple of these properties in next and coming videos. Alright, now let me open this second tab where I have opened ngForm already. And read this definition. Creates a top level form group instance and binds it to a form to track aggregate form value and validation status. Click on this form group link. And see down here, we get all the properties which we get inside form control instance. Reason is form control and form group both are extending abstract control. Along with these common properties and functions, we have a couple of additional functions in form group. Form group is always a group of controls. To perform operations on those controls inside form group, we can use these additional functions. This controls property can be used to access a specific control from the form group. Add control and remove control can be used to add a new control or remove an existing control from or in form group. Set control can be used to replace an existing control in form group. Contains function can be used to check if form group contains a specific control with the control name. Set value and patch value and reset we have seen already. Now see here, we have something known as get raw value and we also have value property here. There is one very important difference between them is when you access form group value using value property, it excludes disabled controls. When get raw value is used, it returns all the control values irrespective of their state. The last one remaining here in this tab, let me open this. This is form array. We will see more on form array in a separate video. Just see this, that it also extends abstract control and has a couple of additional properties and functions which can be used on array-like variables. Alright, now we are good to proceed. Thank you for your patience and let's continue to validations in the template-driven form. Please do like, share and subscribe to the channel to show your support and ask any question you have in the comment box. With that being said, that was it for this lecture. See you in the next lecture.